son of a mathematician. When I was a child, I was considered gifted in mathematics, and my parents decided at an early age that I was going to be a mathematician. My parents actually had a plan for all three of the boys. My oldest brother was going to be a pianist. He did it. I was the youngest, was going to be a mathematician. And the middle son, who they said wasn't good at math and wasn't gifted in music, well, he should just go work in a bank, just make a living, which inspired him to do great things. My brother Santa has gone on to become the president of the University of Michigan. He's a very distinguished scientist, and he was literally driven by this need to prove that his early assessment was incorrect. For me, it almost went in a very bad way. I dropped out of high school. The last thing I wanted to be in high school was anything my parents wanted me to be. I didn't want to be the one Asian kid in class that was expected to be good at math when all the other kids had lives. I couldn't play baseball, the All-American pastime, and I hated it. In April of 1984, I was of the mindset that I'm going to run away from home. I'm never going to see my parents again, and I don't care about that. I'm going to strike out on my own. In April 1984, a letter came to the house addressed to my father. It was on this yellowed piece of paper that looked like it might as well have been 100 years old. It was a letter written by Janaki Ammal, who was a widow of the Indian mathematician Ramanujan. And she thanked my father for making a small gift to help commission a statue in memory of Ramanujan. And me, seeing my dad cry, and he never cried. He was almost no emotions. This letter brought him to tears, and he brought this letter to me afterwards. I have to tell someone what this is about. So Ramanujan, it turned out, I learned that day, was a mystic, an autodidact. He had visions of mathematics that his goddess, he believed, gave him gifts of formulas that he would write down in his notebooks. Because of his passion for mathematics, he didn't study in any of his other courses, so he ended up flunking out of college twice. Here's my dad talking about someone who was a two-time college dropout, but had left behind 3 notebooks filled with formulas that he was studying himself. And I only learned later, one of the reasons that my father was so in love with the story of Ramanujan is because Ramanujan had actually represented hope for him, his one chance in life as a Japanese mathematician post-World War II. My father wanted to be a mathematician, but he went to college at a time when the world was at war. He loved mathematics as a way of escaping from long lines waiting for food. In the aftermath of World War II, the United States sent some of their best mathematicians to Japan to rebuild the universities and train the mathematicians. My father first learned about Ramanujan at the conference where he was discovered by a Princeton professor who invited him to study with him at Princeton, launching his career. Ramanujan died at a very early age at 32. He was nearly forgotten, and the mathematicians of the world contributed small gifts to give Mrs. Ramanujan the statue that the government had promised her in 1920. That letter and a photograph that she shared with us of the statue, it represented him remembering what it was like for him to struggle and the moment where he got his chance. So what did Ramanujan